Hi, this is Scott, and this is John from Crossroads Bootcamp, and we wanted to take just a few minutes today just to discuss what really both of us believe is the most important exercise we do in this gym or frankly any other gym, which is the squat. There is, and I can't say it strongly enough, that there's not a single athletic movement or frankly day-to-day movement that you do in your everyday lives that's not benefited by strengthening the squat, doing it well, and doing it to the depth that we're talking about.
And you might think that you know how to do a squat absolutely perfectly, and you probably do, you've probably been told, but what happens, especially when we're pushing that intensity and we're trying to get that workout pushed up and up and up, you lose the focus. You get fatigued and the form starts to wane. So we just want to give you some prompts and some points and some points of action, so when you're in the boot camp, you're working at an extreme level, you can zero in on these few little tips for your safety, for your athletic performance, and to make us look good.
All right, so I'm going to have, first of all, what I'm going to do is have John do we're going to set him up, and we're going to have him do a squat well. You're going to see that from the front and the side. I'm going to point out what he's doing well, and then we'll step back and we'll have John make all the mistakes and show how to correct them as well. So the first thing, just setting up, is really simple, is the feet are just a tiny bit wider than shoulder width, not much, and the toes are going to be slightly turned out, meaning probably if we're looking at a clock, his right foot is at 1:30 and the left foot is at 10:30. So first thing with the squat especially, now John's just doing it with his body weight, but that's still weight. So anytime we're doing with a weight, the first thing we want is those abdominals tight. So before the first thing he does, abdominals are tight. So even though it's just his body weight, if it were hundreds of pounds, he'd be able to support it. So he's looking really good here. Now you see what's happening is the knees are on top of the feet. Okay, now you can't see that from the front, but you can see his head is straight ahead. Now actually this is the preferred position for sitting in most of the world. You know, John's strong, he has good endurance. Fairly comfortable position, right?
Yeah, I can hold it for another 2 minutes.
You can hold it for another couple minutes, right? So, but he's down in a good position and that looks great. So let's go ahead and stand up. We're going to show a couple other things. Go ahead and face the side. And we're going to do the same thing. Now watch what he does really well here. It's coming down. Okay, so you can see the fold of the hip is lower than the knee. The weight is even. He's not shifting his weight forward. And the back is a normal curve. It's not round. So if he wanted to, he could take the arms and lift them straight overhead and hold a weight up here. If he had kettlebells in his hand, he could actually even do presses with them from that position. So go ahead and stand up.
And as you saw, as I was getting fatigued in that position and my hands went up, I noticed my head went down. I started looking down. And as soon as that head goes down, you lose your cervical spine, you lose your thoracic, you lose your lumbar, you start going forward, you get in a bad position. And I was guilty of that right there.
Okay, so let's just go through some of the big things that we see people do and mistakes we need to correct. Okay, so the first one, as we see, pretty simple, not going down deep enough. So if you just do a shallow squat, okay, now he's also making another one of the primary mistakes. Just do what you were doing. Now notice he's not even coming up all the way either. Okay, so what's happening? By not finishing, the reason we want to finish the squat, go ahead and do that from the side, John. The glutes, or go ahead and do them short. The glute maximus, which is the big muscle in the meaty part of your rear, is the largest single muscle in your body. We need to use it. That's where all our power comes from. Something to pad the chair when we hope I didn't offend anyone. If I did, that's fine. So he's going to want to come all the way up, and he's going to want to get all the way down.
Finish and squeeze. Finish and know where your glutes are and finish the move.
And contrary, and we can discuss this, it takes a little more time to explain this than we have today, but healthy hips, healthy knees are created by the ability to do full squats. If you can't do a squat like this, your hips, your knees probably healthy. So let's go ahead and turn to the camera again. Now what's the next biggest issue that people do is the knees caving in. So if he squats, if the knees cave in, now why has he got that problem? Okay, so if he has that problem, it's because he doesn't have connection to the glutes and the more powerful muscles in the body. So what I'm going to do to keep him from doing that, I'm just going to hold here and just have him press the knee against my hand so he's pushing out. Now a lot of times when I'm teaching a class, what do I see? When I say push the knees out, I'll see people get wider, or they'll turn out. They'll try to go to some kind of ballet position, and we really want a position of power. Sorry, any of our ballet dancers in the room.
If you're in this position, you get down into here. If you just do that with it, you will feel your hips stronger. You'll feel your glutes kick in. You'll put it right in the quads. The knee pressure will take off. It's the right position.
Okay. And coming up, now the next thing is over. So if you turn sideways, now notice, if he just bends over as he squats, okay, and come up. Now what's happening, actually probably not, John's so good at this, it's hard for him to mess it up.
I'm trying.
So maybe I'll do this and he can point it out, because he's too good to make that mistake, I'm not. So just the standing, this issue is this one. Okay, now.
And this happens a lot during fatigue.
Where am I, okay, so where am I not bending?
The glutes aren't getting deep.
Hips, I'm not. So people that do this because they don't have the strength in the glutes to get down and up. Okay? All right. So the next one is kind of similar. If you turn sideways, is rounding the back. Actually rounding the low back. So John squats, and if we watch the low back rounds, again, hard for him to do because he's got good hamstring flexibility. But if the low back rounds, especially if we're lifting weight, and we see this when people do, if we're lifting kettlebells, lighter kettlebells, or even if we're doing really heavy deadlifts with even body weight or more than body weight, which some of us will do, rounding the back is where we hurt our backs. So,
and that's when you lose focus of your abs. We always talk about keeping those abs. To just reinforce that, pull it in, it's going to straighten out that back right away.
And we got one more, which is lowering the head, probably want to turn sideways. Roll in the shoulders, roll in the back. Okay?
That's a lazy squat.
It's basically a lazy squat. It's also, if it's not lazy, some people just don't have the strength in their upper back. And I was just watching John teach today. He was doing overhead squats with pipes, and a lot of the people bending forward just don't have awareness or position. So again, let's leave this with what a good squat looks like. So nice all the way down, all the way up. So he's going to go all the way down, and he's going to finish, squeeze the glutes at the top. It's a good looking squat. It's going to contribute to greater energy in the gym, going to be working out harder, burning more calories, burning more fat, and just as importantly as that, developing a really strong, healthy set of knees, nice, strong glutes, powerful open hips that also enhance our ability to have a good back that doesn't hurt as well. So it's about health and it's about your fitness as well. So before we wrap up, anything to add to that, John?
You know what, it makes you feel good when you're walking away too. So work hard, train hard, look better, feel better. Thank you.